Hope everybody out there is doing good. And welcome back to day 25 of our Proverbs. Got 6 more left. I want to jump right into it this morning. Proverbs 25 is really wisdom for the leaders. These Proverbs were collected by Hezekiah's aides. The first section was written by Solomon, and the next 2 sections were written by others. While we can learn from all these Proverbs, many were originally directed toward the king or those who dealt with the king. These are particularly helpful for those who are leaders or aspire to become leaders. The book ends with a description of a truly good wife who is an example of godly wisdom. More Proverbs by Solomon. Chapter 25, verse 1. These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the man of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. And saying Hezekiah's story is told in 2 Kings 18 through 20, 2 Chronicles 29 through 32, and Isaiah 36 through 39. He was one of the few kings of Judah who honored the Lord. By contrast, his father Ahaz actually nailed the temple door shut. Hezekiah restored the temple, destroyed idol worship centers, and earned the respect of surrounding nations, many of whom brought gifts to God because of Hezekiah. It is not surprising that he had these proverbs copied and read for in every work that he began in the service of the house of God, and in the law, and in the commandments to seek his God. He did it with all his heart and prospered. 2 Chronicles 32:21. Verse 2, it is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. The heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Put not forth thyself in the presence of a king, and stand not in the place of great men. For better it is that it be said unto thee, Come up hither, and that thou should be put lower in the presence of the prince, whom thine eyes have seen. Saying there in verse 6 and 7, Jesus made this proverb into a parable. You can see it in Luke 14:7 through 11. We should not seek honor as a major thrust for our life. It is better to be ourselves and accomplish the work God has given us to do. As others notice the quality of our life, then they will draw attention to us. Verse 8, Go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know what to do in the end thereof, when thy neighbor hath put thee to shame. Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, and discover not a secret to another. Lest he hath heareth it put thee to shame, and thine infamy turn not away. A word fittily spoken is like apples of gold and pitchers of silver. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. As the cold of snow in thine of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him, for he refresheth the soul of his masters. Saying there in 13, it is often difficult to find people you can really trust. A faithful employee is punctual, responsible, honest, and hardworking. An invaluable employee helps take some of the pressure off his or her employer. Find out what your employer needs from you to make his or her job easier, and do it. Verse 14, Whoso boasteth himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. And that's saying most churches, missions organizations, and Christian groups depend on the gifts of people to keep their ministries going, but many who promise to give fail to follow through. The Bible is very clear about the effect this has on those involved in the ministry. If you pledge to give, make every effort to keep your promise. Verse 15, By long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as it is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of thee, and so hate thee. A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul, and a sword, and a sharp arrow. Saying, don't lie. Lying about someone is vicious. Its effects can be as permanent as those of a stab wound. The next time you're tempted to pass on a bit of gossip, imagine yourself stabbing the victim of your remarks with a sword. This image may shock you into silence. Verse 19, confidence is an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. As he taketh away the garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon niter, so is he that singeth songs to a heavy heart. Niter is soda. Okay. As he taketh away the garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon niter, so is he that singeth songs to a heavy heart. If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. I know we've heard that verse a lot. I have. If your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water for drink. That's good. Verse 22, for thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee. It says God's form of retaliation is most effective and yet difficult to do. Paul quotes this proverb in Romans 12:19 through 21. In Matthew 5:44, Jesus encourages us to pray for those who spite us. By returning good for evil, we're acknowledging God as the balancer of all accounts and trusting him to be the judge. Amen to that. The north wind driveth away rain, so doth an angry countenance a backbiting tongue. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman and in a wide house. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so it is good news from a far country. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring. Falling down here means setting aside your standards of right and wrong. No one is helped by someone who compromises with the wicked. Verse 27. It is not good to eat much honey, so for men to search their own glory is not glory. That's saying dwelling on the glory or honors you deserve can only be harmful. It can make you bitter, discouraged, or angry, and will not bring you to the rewards you think should be yours. Penning for what you should have received may make you miss the satisfaction of knowing you did your best. Verse 28, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. And that verse is saying, even though city walls restricted the inhabitants' movements, people were happy to have them without walls. They would have been vulnerable to attack by any passing group of marauders. Self-control limits us, to be sure, but it is necessary. An out-of-control life is open to all sorts of enemy attacks. Think of self-control as a wall for defense and protection. Amen. Well, that's the end of that. I hope you get something out of it. I really like the verse, if thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat. If he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Lord saying he'll take it. He'll take it from there. God is the balancer. Well, I hope you got something from it. I know I did. And we'll be back in here tomorrow in Proverbs 26. That'll be a good one. They're all good ones. But I got to get on and get ready for work. And I hope y'all have a good day. Hope you have a blessed week. Find yourself in church Wednesday night. Don't just go on Sunday nights. And that's what I was saying about yesterday about, we got to take the training wheels off. Wasn't meaning that it's not good to go to church and sit in church. I was meaning that the Lord probably has more for you. Everybody has a talent. And until we unbox it and find out what it is and use it, you'll be amazed. It may be going out handing out tracts. It may be inviting people to church. You may be going out on a mission field. It may be door knocking. You got a talent somewhere, and the Lord can use it. Church is just our filling station. That's where we go and get filled. Iron sharpeneth iron. Don't forsake yourself to assemble together. You know, that's our filling station. Go get our service. Go get filled up. And then we're supposed to take it out. So that's what I was meaning about yesterday. We got to take the training wheels off. We got to go out. We got to go down the rough paths. It's not easy a lot of the times. Sometimes it is. You got to be covered in prayer. You got to pray every day, Lord, as I step out here, I need you to help me. I need you to prepare these people's hearts that I'm going to speak to. And he will. He'll do it. You'll see it. It'll blow your mind. But I love y'all and thank y'all for watching. Please remember to subscribe, share, like, hit the notification bell. And y'all have a good day. And until next time.